She had accepted her daughter might be gone forever. Then a stranger said something only that child could know. And everything changed. Patrol officers arrived within minutes. They asked the questions Patricia barely heard as panic rose in her throat. Had Amber ever run away before? Was there a custody dispute? Any relatives who might have taken her? Anyone who might want to hurt her? Patricia answered mechanically. No, no, no. Amber's father had left before she was born. No contact, no family nearby, no one who would do this. By early evening, Detective Marcus Shaw was assigned to the case. He sat with Patricia in her living room as the sun went down and asked her to walk through the day again, minute by minute. You're always here at 3? Every day. I've never been late before. But today you were. 15 minutes. That's all. Would Amber leave with someone if they said you sent them? Patricia hesitated. Her throat tightened. If they sounded convincing. If they said I was hurt. Shaw wrote it down. The school had no security cameras. Dismissal was chaotic. Parents, cars, children everywhere. A stranger could have walked up to a 10-year-old and no one would have noticed. That night, search teams went through the surrounding neighborhoods. Parks, parking lots, alleys, nothing. The next morning, Amber Lawson's photo was sent to surrounding departments. Flyers were printed. Volunteers searched wooded areas. No sign of her. Days turned into weeks. Patricia replayed those 15 minutes over and over. The moment she wasn't there. The moment everything changed. In a world of parents whose children vanish, time becomes a weapon. 15 minutes is all it takes. Amber walked out of Oakwood Elementary at exactly 3 o'clock that afternoon. The May air was warm, bright. Children rushed past her toward waiting cars. She scanned the line. Her mother's blue Honda wasn't there. She waited near the doors. Watched cars pull away. Watched the crowd thin. Her mother was never late. Not once. Something felt wrong. A woman approached her. Mid-40s. Neatly dressed. A hospital badge hung from a lanyard around her neck. Amber Lawson? Amber looked up. Yes. I'm Mrs. Ross from Duke University Hospital. Your mother asked me to pick you up. She's been in an accident. Amber's stomach dropped. Is she okay? The doctors are helping her, but she wants you there. We need to leave right now. Amber hesitated. Her mother had always warned her never to go anywhere with strangers. But this woman knew her name. She had a hospital badge, and her mother was hurt. Can I call her? There's no time, sweetheart. She's in surgery. We can't miss visiting hours. Amber looked back at the parking lot. Her mother's car wasn't coming. Okay. She followed the woman to a car and got into the passenger seat. The doors locked automatically. The car pulled away. What happened to my mom? Quel accident. She'll be fine. They drove past familiar streets. Then onto the highway. This isn't the way to the hospital. She was taken to a different one, closer to where the accident happened. An hour passed. Then 2. Amber's voice shook. This is too far. I want to call my mom. We're almost there. No. Something's wrong. Let me out. She tried the door. Locked. Tried the window. Nothing. Please. I want to go home. The woman's voice hardened. Your mother doesn't want you anymore. She gave you up. That's why she wasn't at school. That's not true. It is. And if you try to run or tell anyone, the police will arrest you. Children without parents go to jail. Do you understand? Amber cried too hard to answer. They pulled into a rural driveway. The car stopped. The woman turned to her. The people inside will take care of you now. You do what they say. You don't ask questions. If you try to leave, no one will ever find you. Inside the house, a man and woman waited. Is her? The man asked. Yes. 10 years old. Smart. Any family looking? Single mother. No extended family. They won't find her. The woman turned to leave. What's her name? The other woman asked. Doesn't matter. You'll get her a new one. The door closed. The man sat in front of Amber. Your name is Jasmine now. Jasmine Cole. Amber shook her head. My name is Amber. Not anymore. Say your name. Amber. His voice went cold. Say it. Jasmine. Good. You're Jasmine Cole. If you tell anyone otherwise, the police will lock you away forever. Amber was shown to a small bedroom. A single bed. a dresser, a closed door. That night, she pulled the blanket to her chin and whispered the words her mother had always said. Don't let your feet stick out. It was the last thing that felt real. The first days blurred together. Amber woke up expecting the nightmare to end, expecting to hear her mother's voice calling her name. Every morning, it didn't happen. The house was quiet, controlled, watched. David and Linda Cole kept her on a rigid schedule. Wake up at 7. Breakfast at 7:30. Chores before lunch. Homework in the afternoon. Dinner at 6. Bed by 8:30. They weren't violent. They didn't starve her. They gave her clean clothes and warm meals. But they never let her forget who was in charge. Your name is Jasmine Cole. They repeated it until it sounded permanent. If anyone asks, you've lived here your whole life. Your Real mother gave you away. If you try to tell anyone different, the police will arrest you. Amber didn't know enough about the world to question it. David spoke with certainty. Linda nodded along. The rules felt absolute, like laws of nature. At night, alone in her room, Amber whispered her real name into the darkness. Whispered her mother's name. Patricia Lawson. Greensboro. Maple Street. She clung to the words like proof that she still existed. And every night before sleep, she said the sentence that had followed her whole life. Don't let your feet stick out. Outside her door, David sometimes paused to listen. He made notes. He reminded Linda to watch the girl closely. But there were things they couldn't reach. Some memories hid too deep. 2 months after she was taken, Linda enrolled her in a school 40 miles away. Riverside Elementary. Far enough that no one would recognize her. Far enough that search flyers wouldn't reach. The school secretary asked for documents. Linda handed over a birth certificate. It looked real. Seals. Dates. Signatures. Jasmine Marie Cole. Born March 12, 1981. Raleigh, North Carolina. It belonged to a baby who had died 6 weeks after birth. A name buried and reused. Amber became Jasmine in every official way that mattered. School records. Medical forms. Attendance sheets. Every piece of paper said the same thing. Her teacher noticed she was quiet. Asked if everything was okay at home. Yes, Amber said, because she believed the lie that telling the truth would destroy her. David reinforced it daily. The police are looking for runaways. Children without families go to institutions. No one will believe you. Truth becomes fragile when it's contradicted often enough. By 6th grade, Amber responded automatically to Jasmine. By 7th, hours passed where she forgot her real name. But she never forgot her mother. Meanwhile, Patricia Lawson tore her life apart searching. She quit her job. She printed thousands of flyers. She taped them to gas pumps, grocery store windows, phone poles. She stood on street corners handing them to strangers. Have you seen this girl? She followed tips that led nowhere. She called Detective Shaw constantly. He never closed the case, never told her to stop calling. But after months passed, the silence grew heavier. By winter, the case was officially labeled cold. Patricia didn't accept it. She celebrated birthdays alone. Leconde sang to an empty room. Every year, I'm still looking, she whispered. I'll never stop. Years passed. Amber grew up under a borrowed name. Graduated middle school. Then high school. Every document said Jasmine Cole. At night, the ritual stayed. Don't let your feet stick out. It reminded her she had been loved. In 1999, at 18, she got a job at a bank call center. It was ordinary, safe, scripted, and then she saw the database. Names, addresses, phone numbers. She searched slowly, carefully. Patricia Lawson, Durham, North Carolina. Active account. The screen blurred through tears. She couldn't say her name, couldn't explain, but she could send a signal. 6 words, the ones no one else knew. She waited 2 weeks. Practiced. Planned. Then the call appeared in her queue. She followed the script. And at the end, she said it. Don't let your feet stick out. Then she hung up. Detective Shaw believed Patricia. He ran the name. Compared photos. The resemblance was enough. When Jasmine didn't show up for work the next morning, he went to her apartment. The knock came. Police. Amber opened the door, and for the first time in 9 years, she told the truth. Amber stood frozen in the doorway as the man introduced himself. Detective Marcus Shaw, Greensboro Police Department. He spoke calmly, gently, like someone approaching a wounded animal. I just need to ask you a few questions about a phone call you made yesterday. Her heart was pounding so hard she thought he might hear it. Every warning David had drilled into her head came rushing back at once. The police will arrest you. They'll lock you away. No one will believe you. Shaw watched her carefully. He could see the fear written all over her face. May I come in? She hesitated, then stepped aside. He sat across from her in the small living room. The silence felt unbearable. He took a photo from his folder and slid it across the table. Do you recognize this woman? Amber's breath caught. The face was older than the one in her memories. Lines where laughter and years had passed, but there was no doubt. Yes. Who is she? That's my mother. According to your records, your mother is Linda Cole. That's not true. My name is Amber. Amber Lawson. I was taken when I was 10. The words spilled out in a rush. Greensboro. Oakwood Elementary. A woman with a hospital badge. A house in the country. A new name. Threats. Years of fear. Shaw didn't interrupt. He asked small questions. Details only a real victim would know. Her teacher's name. The street she lived on. The layout of her old house. Everything matched. Why did you say those words on the phone? He asked quietly. Because my mother used to say them to me every night. When she tucked me in, I knew she'd understand. Shaw set his pen down. Amber, you're not in trouble. You were kidnapped. Everything they told you was a lie. Her body shook as the weight of it hit her. Arrests. Prison. It was all a story to keep her silent. Is my mom still alive? He nodded. She never stopped looking for you. Not for one day. The DNA test confirmed it. 99.9%. Amber Lawson was alive. When Patricia walked into the room and saw her daughter standing there, grown and trembling, time collapsed. They crossed the space between them without a word and held each other like they might disappear again if they let go. I am sorry, Amber whispered. No. Patricia pulled back just long enough to look at her. You were a child. This was never your fault. David and Linda Cole were arrested days later. The woman who took Amber was found and charged. The network unraveled. Amber reclaimed her name, her documents, her life. Years later, when she talked about survival, she always mentioned the same thing. Not the threats, not the lies, not even the fear, just the words. Don't let your feet stick out. Because sometimes a small thing is enough to keep you anchored. Enough to remind you who you are. Enough to bring you home.